Hello, and welcome to Talking GTA episode 20. I'm your host, Hugo One, and this is a podcast about all things Grand Theft Auto related. So, this is the first episode in quite a while. If you can remember all the way back to the last episode, a little over a month ago, we talked about a number of things. One of them being 50 Cent posting Vice City pictures on his Instagram, which shortly after that episode came out, we found out what the actual truth was behind that. And what it is 50 Cent working on a TV show for Paramount Plus that is called Vice City, but has no actual connection to Rockstar Games or Grand Theft Auto or anything like that. So the show Vice City, which is the working title right now, says it follows three friends and former soldiers who returned to their home city of Miami in the mid-'80s after being dishonorably discharged from the military for their involvement in the Iran-Contra scandal. Disgraced, displaced, and forgotten by the country they served with no good job prospects, the three friends partner with a mysterious Colombian immigrant, uniting their financial needs and criminal ambitions to form a heist crew. Fueled by the need for American green, they traverse a violent and dangerous path in pursuit of the American dream. So it actually doesn't sound that bad as a TV show, but it has nothing to do with the game Vice City. And I find it very hard to believe that this title will stay the title when it gets released, considering there's already, something called Vice City, a well-known thing in the form of a video game. And then also, of course, Grand Theft Auto 6 going back to Vice City. But that question was answered while we were gone since the last podcast. Which is good, because a lot of times the stuff we talk about never gets answered because it's all just speculation about stuff Rockstar's doing. So thank you, 50 Cent, for actually giving us an answer to something that we were talking about. But lots of comments on the last video. A lot of them were guessing what 50 Cent would do. Now we have the answer, then we know. And some people, R. Diddy and others, seem to have hit it perfectly. So shout out to them. Also lots of comments about Tom Sizemore passing away. A lot of RIP, RIP for Tom Sizemore, the voice of Sonny Forelli from Vice City. So RIP to him. A handful of other comments I wanted to read real quick. Monty says, the email asking which GTA protagonist is the smartest had me thinking. Who would be the smartest non-protagonist in the series for you? I'm inclined to go with Tenpenny or possibly Woozie. Lester is also pretty sharp to be able to put together as many insane heists as he has, especially if you consider the online heists as well. Yeah, good question. I think Lester, he has a knack for, doing the things that he does, and he can do them well. Does that make him smart? I don't know. I guess you got to be pretty intelligent to pull off a lot of the stuff that he does successfully. Woozie is a good answer because he's very successful in his crime dealings, which I guess lends itself to being intelligent. Tenpenny is, good until it all falls apart, but he's good at playing everybody around him. So lots of different ways that these characters are smart. So I can't really think of anybody else off the top of my head that would come up as a smart character. Since so many people are usually goofy, like a lawyer like Ken Rosenberg, you would think a lawyer may be intelligent, but he's just a goofball, drug addict basically. So, but good question, Monty. Thank you. Sven says, so that talk of Rockstar not having much in the way of merch available reminds me of the author of Calvin and Hobbes, Bill Watterson. He refused to license any of his intellectual property for toys and lunchboxes, saying that corporate greed went against the ideals he upheld in the comics. I don't know if Rockstar has that same mindset, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were purposefully holding back on doing mugs and posters and keychains. Like you said, they could absolutely make a killing on that stuff, but they've chosen not to for some reason. It's interesting that Calvin and Hobbes, when I think of Calvin and Hobbes, I don't even think of the comic strip. I think of the stickers on the back of everybody's car with the where he's peeing on somebody or something. I think that's Calvin and Hobbes. So that's I guess that dude didn't make any money off of that if he wasn't in agreement with all this shit. So but yeah, if Rockstar has their little Rockstar warehouse and they sell little things here and there, shirts, this, that, and the other. So it seems like they're not like morally against or ethically against it, but they just don't do it outside of that. I guess they want control and they don't want to, license this stuff out to others who could maybe mess it up or something. But I don't know. I would love more. I wish there was more transparency. I wish they would do interviews or something here and there to kind of give us a sense of how they're thinking or where they stand in this day and age on a lot of these topics. But I think when you're as massively successful as they have been, there's really no reason to do that. They're going to rake in the cash anyway, and they're going to just do what they want. So that's, whatever their choice is, I'd still like to hear about it. But thank you, Sven. Appreciate it. iSheep from Asshole says, I hope Rockstar Games releases 2 versions of GTA 6. I want an X-rated version. I don't understand why game developers haven't created X-rated games. Well, I think there are a lot of adult-only games with all kinds of crazy shit going on in them. I've heard of a bunch that are banned off of Twitch, so I know some exist like that. But obviously a mega franchise like GTA isn't gonna get sucked into that world again after they already had to have the adults only label on San Andreas back in the day. So while it would be cool, I don't expect it. Thank you for the comment though. JPS says, as a Mass Effect fan, I love it when video games have possible bad endings, especially when the protagonist could possibly die. ME2 was good with that being, if you screw up, everyone including Commander Shepard will die in the final mission. Then you have to play the game all over again. When I chose option B in GTA 5, I was pissed. Then I saw what option C was and I immediately played it again. It was just Rockstar trying to give you a taste of RPGs, yeah? I personally, I've never played Mass Effect, so I have no idea how that works. But having to start the game all the way over would be frustrating to me. But yeah, option C seems like with what it was going to be, but option A and B were there, I guess, for those that wanted it, but thank you for the comment. Sven says Rockstar should leave the multiple choices and branching story paths to RPGs and just stick to crafting a great linear story like they always have. There's no point giving us the illusion of choice if the decisions we make don't have any real weight. Yeah, very true, especially now with GTA Online being the, world that it is post storyline, where Franklin is successful and mentions these other things happen and doesn't it's not tied to what you chose in the game. So yeah, it's a good point, Sven. Thank you. Cody says, I can't get into video game like I used to. I just focus on women and my career. I learned that video games are a waste of time. I'm just stating my opinion. If you want more women, men, focus on yourself. Go to the gym, build a business, and stop playing games. No hate, Hugo, just giving some helpful advice. This looked like some weird copy pasta when I first read it. And I'm still not sure if it is or not, but Cody thinks that he needs to go on videos of podcasts and tell the people that are watching it or that are putting it out that they need to go to the gym and build a business and focus on getting women, because that's what matters in life, not enjoying yourself playing video games or whatever we may be doing, us children of the world. But thank you, Cody, for trying to set us on the right path in life. Good luck to you, friend. That's it for the comments. Thank you to anybody who commented. Not a lot in the way of news about GTA right now. Online updates. Nothing regarding GTA 6, nothing regarding any re-releases of old games. So let's get right into the emails and see what the homies are talking about.
I done spent all my ducats on weed.
All right, continuing with tradition, the first email is Jency. As always, thank you, Jency, for emailing. Jency's question is, who's going to be in GTA 6? Is Tommy or Sonny going to be in GTA 6? Someone else from GTA Vice City? I don't know. I don't know if anybody will be in it, since they are, as they say, it's different universes, 3D to HD. Seems like they're still in the HD universe. So, people from 5 could possibly be in it, or even from 4. But when it comes to Vice City, it's tough to say, because who in GTA 5 was from San Andreas? Is there anybody that wasn't like an Easter egg? I know there's like an OG Log plaque somewhere, and there's, mentions here and there of things that happened in San Andreas, but no real characters are carried over. And then obviously, Tommy and Sonny's voice actors have both passed away, so they wouldn't be able to voice the characters again. But with the way AI is now, you could basically recreate Ray Liotta's voice and put Tommy in the game. And if you do that, who do you pay at that point? Obviously, you can't just use somebody's voice in that manner and not pay them. So you'd have to pay his estate, his family, or whatever. But that would be interesting to see as time goes on in video games. AI voices recreated of people that have died long ago, and not just like impersonations of people, but like something that sounds like it's actually like they stepped in and recorded these lines or whatever. That would be cool to see. I don't know if they'll do it here, since they are sticking to their universe plan. As far as we know, that could all change. Who knows? You could run into Tommy on the streets or something. But anything related to Vice City, if there was another character, that would be cool as well. Who knows if maybe somebody will run into Mercedes, or hear about something going on with Candy Sucks or something like that. That would be pretty cool. But thank you for the email, Jency. Appreciate it. Next email. Hello, it's the Infernus the car. This time I'm going to talk about party games, or in GTA Online words, adversary mode. It was a great addition to the game, as it could be boring doing the same thing. Modes such as Deadline, Every Bullet Counts, Slasher were great additions to the game, but can we get these modes in GTA 6? Remember the beta zombie game from GTA 4, which was cut? What if we can play in-game video games like Saints Row 2 Zombie Uprising? It could be fun time to kill. So yeah, nothing else currently. Questions: which Infernus variant do you like across all GTAs? I like the San Andreas Infernus that looks like the NSX. I think that's super sexy, and that's probably my favorite. I like the Infernus at least across the trilogy, but the San Andreas version is my favorite. The Infernus in 5 I didn't like at all. And 4 I can't really remember. I think 4 is a lot like 5, but there's so few super fast cars in 4. I think the Infernus was good for that reason. Next, what is the best adversary mode you played in GTA Online? That slasher one you mentioned was a lot of fun. That was I didn't play much of it. I played a little bit, but or maybe I'm thinking of like the Beast or something. Somebody's a beast, and the other players try to kill them in some way, and the Beast is like super OP and tries to take everybody out. That was fun. There's also this like goofy ass one where like 2 players would be on bicycles, and they'd get a head start, and they'd try to drive to this certain location, while 2 other players were coming up behind them in big ass trucks, and they try to run them over and kill them just by, knocking them off the bikes and running over them or whatever. That was actually a lot of fun. That was really hard to find people to play, because you had to have exactly 4 people to play that. If you had too many, you couldn't do it. If you had too few, you couldn't do it. But that was a lot of fun. So there's a handful of games like that were a lot of fun in GTA Online. I don't know if this counts in the category you're putting in, but like the custom stunters versus snipers in GTA Online, where you put a bunch of people on a platform, and then the other team, the people on the platform have snipers or whatever kind of gun, and then the people down on ground level are in certain types of cars, and they try to hit ramps and jump up there and run over everybody to win. That's like a variation of a team deathmatch, but that was a lot of fun. I had a ton of fun with that. The whole conversion opinion. I don't know what you're asking. If you're still talking about just this conversation we're having, yes, those are some of my favorite things. But as far as playing video games in GTA 6, yeah, that would be cool. I don't know what it could possibly be. Older GTAs, something like that. would be a lot of fun to play in GTA 6. Well, on that bombshell, it's the Infernus. Thank you, Infernus, for the email. Appreciate it. All right, next one, Mike the Nerd. Hey, Hugo, what's been happening? I watched the podcast on Spotify now. I got worried that you gave up on the podcast since you haven't done it in a while, but I'm glad you didn't abandon it, so that's good. Anyways, on with the email. One, I actually like the multiple choices that Rockstar gives you in GTA 4 and GTA 5 because it lets you choose all the possibilities of what could happen, no matter if the choice is canon or not, and I hope they expand it more in GTA 6. Two, it's crazy how we had Ray Liotta, the protagonist of Tommy Vercetti, die in 2022, and Tom Sizemore, the antagonist of Sonny Forelli, die in 2023. While we are a year or two away from the release of GTA 6, which is taking place in Vice City. Coincidence? I think not. Three, I've been listening to Nirvana, Green Day, Korn, and Linkin Park, and it made me think, what if Rockstar made a rock station dedicated to the 90s and early 2000s in GTA 6? Thanks for reading my email, and as always, fuck sweet. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. Yeah, that radio station sounds great. I would love something like that. I think they could have a lot of fun poking at like kind of like the new metal era, and maybe get like Fred Durst as the celebrity DJ or whatever, and just talk about how the times were so much better back then and they suck now or something like that. I think that would be pretty cool. So if you're listening, Rockstar, credit Mike the Nerd on that one. That would be a pretty cool station. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. All right, next one. Yo, Hugo, what's happening, homeboy? I got two questions for you. The first one is regarding the weapons in GTA 6. Do you want a specific weapon or firearm to be included or to return to the game, or are you just happy with what the developers give you? Maybe you even want a certain long purple object that can be found in various police stations around San Andreas to return. Yeah, something like that would be fun. I like the goofiness of stuff like that. A big purple dildo is what we're talking about here, in case you didn't catch that. So yeah, something like that would be fun to have as a weapon. Not that I would use it as a weapon. I just use it to run around and chase like old ladies down the street with it in my hand or something. And it would have a better like wiggle action with the new graphics and stuff. So yeah, that's a great idea. My favorite gun in San Andreas is the minigun, but the minigun in GTA 5 is so much weaker than the San Andreas version. So even if they give you, whatever gun you want, it may not behave the same. So that's worrisome. Anyway, second question. What are your favorite San Andreas radio commercials? My favorites are Exorbio. Mom, look, I'm playing with myself. The Cavern of Sorrow. Ha, you can't see me with my invisibility cloak on. I got invisibility seeing glasses, dumbass. And all the Cluck and Bell commercials. My favorite is probably, I love the Cluck and Bell ones with the jingle, the cock-a-doodle-doo, we're a huge corporation. But my favorites are probably the Glory Hole ones, because they got a good jingle and they're pretty funny. And it's just a weird ass idea, I guess, the Glory Hole theme park. But I always love those. A lot of good commercials throughout the series, but yeah, especially in San Andreas, the ones you mentioned, and then even a bunch of others that I kind of rarely hear. Thank you for your streams and the podcast. Much love, and always remember, honk means get the hell on, man. Enormous tits. Thank you, enormous tits. Appreciate it. All right, next email from Woods the Wall. Sup, Hugo? Good to have your sweet, sultry voice back doing the podcast. Congrats on completing the Extreme Chaos run. What an incredible ride that was. Chat couldn't stop you, Mang. That's right. All right, I've held my tongue long enough. I think it's time to talk about the Warriors. Despite the rather seedy delivery, the caller from the last episode was a man after my own heart. The Warriors is an excellent brawler, has tons of charisma, and is probably the best co-op experience I've ever had. It's also one of the few games I've got a platinum trophy for. I really can't talk this game up enough. The sound design is great. Every punch and kick has this thick weight to it. The soundtrack is pulled directly from the film, so it feels authentic. The combat is easy to pick up, but hard to master, and will have you considering every input on the higher difficulties. The level design is stunning, capturing the grimy feel of the late 70s New York City to a T. The premise is perfect for a video game, too. A gang falsely accused of murder has to fight all the way home through hostile territory and clear their name. The movie is just okay, definitely a product of its time. I was hyped to watch it after I first clocked the game back in the mid-2000s, but found it to be slow in parts. The game is where it's at for me. It expands on that universe in the best manner possible, fleshing out the gangs, the characters, and the setting in a way the film never could with its short runtime. You can tell that the people who worked on this game cared a great deal about the source material. The labor of their love shines through in every detail. 10 of 10, best video game based on a film ever made. Thanks for letting me rant and rave about this amazing game. All the best, homie Woods. Thank you, Woods. There seems to be a lot of people who really love this Warriors game, and I'm curious if is it so much, you know, the movie, or like you said, you know, the movie was just okay, but the video game was better, and when I watched the movie, it did feel like the game would be better. So I can see how it makes a good game, but was it just a really good game that happened to be based on this old movie or whatever? If they would have made a similar type of game, you know, not based on anything, would people have loved it even more? Would it be a classic like GTA is? Is it being based on this 1970s movie something that may hold it back more than helps prop it up? I don't know. I've never played it, so I'd like to play it, and then I'll give you my opinion when that happens, but who knows when that'll ever happen. But thank you, Woods. Appreciate it. All right, next one from Clay Doggy. Sup, Hugo, sup, homies. Power Cannon brought up the idea of Tommy being in the next GTA game. Is it possible? Sure. I know Rockstar doesn't want to mix the 3D and HD eras, so I don't see it ever happening, but as Vice City is my favorite GTA game, I'd love to see it. In 2023, he would be 70 years old at this time, so it could easily be voiced by someone else, RIP Ray Liotta. That all being said, given his lifestyle, I wouldn't expect him to be alive at this point. Another thing you spoke about in the past episode is what all radio personalities would you like to come back? Obviously, Laszlo and Fernando are a must, but as it's Vice City, it would be great to have Maurice Chavez, that's Chavez, not Chavez or Chavez, back for VCPR, pressing issues is crazy funny, and the two other hosts, Michelle and Jonathan, just bad-mouthing people who don't donate is great. Lastly, Woods brought up seeing real-life places that were in GTA games, and you mentioned going to Jizzy's place in San Francisco. I've been to LA, San Francisco, New York, and I live in Vegas, so I've seen a ton of these things, haven't made it to Miami yet. If anyone wants to start some type of gallery or something maybe on your Discord, I'm down to grab pics, video of places, sites, and Las Venturas. That's it for now. Great work as always. Much love to the homies. Fuck sweet. Thank you, Clay Doggy. Appreciate it. As far as like Tommy possibly not being alive by the time Vice or GTA 6 takes place is a good point, and it would be very beneficial to Rockstar to easily say, oh yeah, there was this big crime boss back in the day that took down a mob boss and was running stuff in Vice City, but then he died because of such and such or whatever. Or they could just pretend that he never happened, which is something they very well may do. The next thing about bringing back radio hosts, as far as like talk radio goes, when WCTR went from San Andreas 1992 to Los Santos 2013 or whatever, there wasn't, I mean, not many people carried over. I think just Laszlo, as far as WCTR is concerned. And there was a lot of good characters on there too. So who knows what they'll do. Again, I will say this every single time. Rockstar needs a GTA historian that can tie all this stuff together, because for new people just getting into the series in 5 or 6, that they won't even notice. They won't even realize that they're hearing little Easter eggs or little things dropped about the past. But the longtime fans will love it. They'll really appreciate something like that. So I think it would be great if Rockstar did something to, tie back to, Vice City or the radio DJs or whatever. Some kind of little anything would be great. And then as far as like real life places, I love seeing that stuff. I love seeing real life GTA places. Somebody on Reddit posted pictures of kind of like what random storefronts in San Andreas, what they were based on in real life. And they're like little tiny hole in the wall shops somewhere in LA or whatever. And this guy was able to find a bunch of them and kind of match them up to in game. And I thought that was super cool because obviously like the big things are obvious, but the little tiny things that are in the game that exist in real life, when I see them in real life, it's always really crazy. So yeah, I love stuff like that. Please share any pictures you got of that. Send them to me, send them wherever. I'd love to see them. Thank you, Clay Doggy, for that. Appreciate it. All right, next one. Hi, Hugo. Love the podcast. Do you think that the hype for GTA 6 might be too big at this point? Rockstar has always managed to deliver over-the-top, perfect quality, impactful titles. But this time, with all the changes in the company and the rampant imagination of today's gamers, the new title might not meet expectations that people have. Love, Airport Taxi. Thank you, Airport Taxi, for the email. Yeah, no, I think they're kind of bordering on one, taking so long that people are like, well, this better be the fucking best game ever. And then having to follow up on what was just a mega hit in GTA 5. But when the stuff leaked for GTA 6, it was just so much hype and a lot of positivity. There was a lot of negativity, but that was kind of just people that are going to be negative anyway. Those people are going to exist no matter what. But a lot of people were very excited with what they saw and the direction of the franchise. So I think they'll be okay as long as they put out something that people like. If it's a shit product, then it's not going to matter, you know, and it's going to fail anyway. But good question. Thank you, Airport Taxi. Next email. Hi, Hugo. Congrats on 20 episodes on the podcast. Thank you, friend. I've been thinking recently about my very own take on a GTA 3 fan film recently. Since GTA 3 is my favorite GTA game ever, although I don't want to spoil my ideas here, so I'm going to ask you something. If GTA 3 were ever adapted into a full-fledged movie, how would you like the story to be? How would you like the characters to be characterized? How much action is enough? Should it be set in New York City or the fictional Liberty City? I'm happy to hear. GS for life. Thank you, friend, for the email. Master Skywalker, appreciate it. It has to be Liberty City. I mean, obviously, well, I mean, they can shoot wherever. And GTA 3 Liberty City is not such a carbon copy of New York City that they could shoot it in any kind of city area and just make it, you know, Liberty City. But it would be tough because I feel like the main character of Claude would have to speak. It would be hard to see a whole real movie where the main character didn't speak. It made sense in video games at the time, but I don't think you could get away with that in a movie. So you'd have to have him speak, and then that changes everything. Who knows how he really feels inside? Somebody's going to have to decide and write it out. Once you do that, then everything kind of is, you know, changed, I guess, which I guess a lot of these video game movies change things anyway. So at that point, I don't know, as long as you kind of keep everything with the same antagonists and the same kind of basic idea of kind of working his way you know, through the city and with these different gangs and stuff, and then having this, you know, Catalina at the end to take out, I think that would be a really good movie. I think that would be a good place to start if they ever did do a GTA movie, because we're so far from the game actually releasing that the people that would go see it would not know what to expect, I guess. But also that could backfire and people would say, this was terrible. This is terrible. This is nothing like Grand Theft Auto 5, because that's the only Grand Theft Auto they know. So yeah, hard to say what would work and what wouldn't, but good idea. Thank you for the email, friend. Appreciate it. All right, that's it for the emails. Let's get on to the phone calls.
All right, let's go to the phones. Hello, caller. You're on Chatterbox.
Hugo, what's up, my boy? How you doing? Big fan, much love always, as everyone should. If you're not already, like, subscribe, all that good shit on Twitch, on YouTube, all Hugo1, the man. Sorry, I'm just real excited to talk to you as always and leave you a message because you're so awesome. And always looking forward to the podcast and stream. So sorry about so much promo. Question. with GTA 6 coming up, I know, and it's always a pleasant surprise, music-wise, what they decided to bless us with, those Rockstar developers with 5 and all the games before that too. What would you look forward to or hope for, at least musically speaking, for GTA 6? Because I think they've done a fairly good job of covering any and all genres. So I don't know if there really is much surprise left as far as like throwbacks, classics. How could they implement modern day music, if anything, to the in-game radio, whatever? Is there a genre at all maybe you like, or I don't know, something as simple as like a band or artist you haven't heard of yet, and you're like, why haven't I heard him, her, they, them yet in the game at all, or a game at all? I can't think of any offhand, but I know there's plenty that probably like just been off their radar per se, but definitely some genres I'm sure that haven't been touched yet or haven't been properly represented. But also I'm thinking, hey, why not do something where they can implement, like, besides the PC version, you can just add your own music to it, but maybe something like in real time, add music some way, somehow to it to enjoy. Not like it needs it. Whoever's in charge of picking music for the games, they've been doing an awesome job, I think, honestly, since like GTA 3. So no complaints there. Let me know what you think, man. Always love you. Much love always, and appreciate you.
Thank you, friend, for the phone call. Appreciate it. I'm a little worried about music in GTA 6 just because in 5 there were just so many radio stations and so many songs on each of them, or at least by the end. In the beginning, when it released on PS3 and 360, there was a lot of stations, but there wasn't a ton of songs on each one. Then it releases on the next gen of consoles, and they add a bunch more songs, and then since then they've added stuff for online specific and just whole new radio stations. So there's a lot going on with the music. It can be a bit overwhelming, and that was kind of the good thing about Vice City and San Andreas specifically. There was a certain number of stations, they had their songs, and it was cool. So I want that. I want the classic radio stations with some good songs, and obviously it has to tie into the setting, which is Vice City. So something, Miami related, Latin music. And then I would love to see some, like somebody mentioned earlier, late 90s, early 2000s, rock and metal and stuff. And then also 2000s, late 90s, 2000s, up into 2010s, like hip hop station. I think that kind of era of music, having a station that kind of, or multiple stations with that time period of music would be great for millennials like myself who grew up with that music. That's, who has been a huge part of this franchise for so long. And they'll really appreciate that, but obviously there'll be new music too, and they'll have to do that, and that's fine. It makes sense. But somebody had the suggestion of like a live radio station on GTA Online in the future with GTA 6, or maybe even in the storyline. But online would be better. It would suit it better because you'd have like a DJ that could kind of talk about, I don't know if they want to talk about real life stuff or stuff that happening in the game. All this weekend, there's crates being dropped all over the state, and you could, and somebody, the source says you could get this or that out of it or whatever, something like that, with different types of music, new stuff that's come out since the game released. And I don't know how all that stuff works when it comes to the rights to using the music, but almost like just a radio station would in the real world, that's how it should work, in the game, a live radio station where you kind of, new music comes out, you put it on, so people call in request or message you request from their apartment in Vice City, and you play it and say, hey, this shout out to Little Dick 69 sitting in his penthouse listening to us right now or whatever. That would be awesome. I think that would be something that would be very fitting for a new GTA. But anyway, thank you for the call, friend. That was great. Appreciate it.
I love you, motherfucker. Do you understand?
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Next one.
Hey, Hugo. I just want to ask you a question. How would you feel if the Zaibatsu Corporation returned in GTA 6 and like uh, the respect mechanic from GTA 2 returned as well? Like, Zaibatsu could be like a looming threat, like Merryweather from GTA 5, Tenpenny from GTA San Andreas, the Pirelli family in GTA Vice City. Like, how would you feel if the Zaibatsu Corporation came back? And also, I think the respect mechanic from GTA 2 is really interesting, and I wish it came back in GTA 3 or GTA Vice City or San Andreas, especially San Andreas, since the gang mechanic. So yeah, how would you feel about all that returning in GTA 6? That's all I have to say. Bye.
Thank you, friend, for the call. Appreciate it. I didn't play a lot of GTA 2 to really know how things worked in that game. But the idea of respect seems like it would be perfect for any kind of crime related game. I know in San Andreas you get respect plus and not money, and more respect to allow you to have more gang members that you could recruit, which is practically useless. So GTA 2 is going to be such a different world from GTA 6, so I don't know. It seems like their focus is more so with storytelling and more of like almost like a cinematic experience rather than the old school gaming stats and points and stuff like that. And that kind of worries me. I would like a balance of these things, but I think they're going to be, especially because how Red Dead 2 was a much more, cinematic experience. And I don't know how that's going to be. I would love some kind of, option to get, build up what your respect or whatever it may be, while playing. Things that you earn while you play, not just earn from progressing in the story, are great. I like that type of stuff. That's what makes video games fun. So that's what I want. But, it's all about what works nowadays. Times change, and we have our old games if we want to go back to them. But we shall see. We're still waiting for some more information about GTA 6 and just an announcement. But once the announcement comes, then we'll actually get to hear about features in the game, I hope. And I hope it's not that far off. It's not too far off from now, because we're ready. Everybody's desperate. We're ready for a new GTA game. So we're all patiently waiting, Rockstar. Here we are. Send it our way. But until then, we'll just keep talking GTA like we've been doing. And so that's it. That's it for today's podcast. Not much going on, like I said before, in the world of GTA, but we can always talk about whatever you want to talk about on the next episode. So you can email talkinggta69@gmail.com, or you can call 1-818-691-5807 to participate in next week, and we'll talk about any GTA related stuff you want to talk about. Other than that, that's it. I will see you guys whenever I see you guys. So thank you for listening. Peace out. Goodbye.